Welcome back, you casual duelists. Today we're going to go ahead with another speed deck. I know it's been about a week or three maybe since the last one. And since we're mid-spooktober, I figured we'd go with Yami Bakura here. So real quick, the speed deck is going to be one copy of the Into the Darkness. We're going to run one Dark Necrofear, one Dark Ruler Hade, two copies of Gilgarth, one Headless Knight, one Magical Ghost, one Melgid the Four-Faced Beast, one copy Santa Claus, that which feeds on life at 1, the Earl of Demise at 1, and the Gross Ghost of Fled Dreams at 1. Our spells are going to be pretty simple. It's going to be 2 copies Faustian Bargain, 2 copies of Allure of Darkness, and that's going to bother me that those weren't in alphabetical order. Traps, I'm going to run a single copy of Metal Reflect Slime, 2 copies Waking the Dragon, and 2 copies of Windstorm Ataqua rounds this out to a 20-card build. This deck is going to use an extra deck, mostly due to the Waking of the Dragons, so we're going to use 2 copies Blue Eyes Ultimate, 1 Ryu Senshi, and 2 Thousand Eyes Restricts. If you guys were only here for this deck list, class is dismissed. We'll see you guys later. But don't forget to leave that comment if you want to be entered into the drawing weekly to go ahead and get yourself some free cards out of the booster boxes I opened previously. And if you're here for the strategy, buckle up. We're going to get into it by starting with the skill card. So the deck itself looked pretty weak, but you have to understand Into the Darkness below. So once per turn, activate this skill, discard a normal fiend monster, which is why our normal fiends were so high, then use one of the following abilities. Either draw 1 card and then flip this over for the next time, or if you have 4 or more fiend normal monsters with different names in the graveyard, add 1 monster from the deck to the hand and then still flip this card over. So it's a once per turn draw, which helps fuel the discard pile for Necrofear. And actually, I might have played that at 2. I don't know. Or you can search out like Dark Necrofear once it's actually going well. Or you can possibly grab for the Santa Claus or the Dark Ruler. So let's go ahead and put Bakura somewhere. So for those of you who don't know Dark Necrofear because you're just new to the game, or it's been a long time since you played it, this card cannot be normal or set. You must first special summon this from the hand by banishing 3 fiend monsters out of the discard pile. During the end phase, if this card's in the graveyard because it was destroyed in your monster zone by an opponent card and sent there this turn, target a face-up monster that they control, equip it to that target, and while this card is equipped to a monster by its own effect, take control of that monster. So, decks like my Dragon Caller, Blue Eyes is going to rip through most of your row here. This would allow you to take and possess the strongest card. Now, it wouldn't work so well on Blue Eyes because Lord of D would still try to prevent the targeting effect, but hey, no strategy's perfect, right? And that's a pretty healthy stat for defense at 2800. Dark Ruler Hade is pretty cool. Just a single tribute, cannot be special summoned from the graveyard. Negate the effects of monsters destroyed by battle with fiend monsters you control. This can actually help control a lot of the speed duel game the way that it is, and since this is mono fiend, pretty easy to do. Gilgarth is in here because he's one of the healthiest fiends in here, and 1800 attack stat, 4-star. He's just good. A lot of these are just going to be used for their name or the fact that they are a different name, fiend, normal card. So again, Headless Knight, decent stats, better defense. Magical Ghost, real middle of the road. Melkid, same. Santa Claus is in here. He's one of those good strategy cards here. And so this operates exactly like a kaiju, but with a different effect. So you can special summon this from your hand to the opponent's side of the field in defense mode by tributing a monster they control. If summoned this way, once during the end phase of this turn, you can draw 1 card. Now, the drawing of the card depends on which player actually activates the effect. So if I were able to use something like Owner's Seal and return control or mind control this, then I could actually use the effect myself to draw the card. But if your opponent gets the timing to actually play it themselves, then it will. He's a very cool joke, too. If you were to take apart the art, he looks an awful lot like the monster Krampus, which is from Christmas Tales. The color scheme is absolutely Christmas. He's got his bag of gifts. He's got the wreath, the holly. He's got the whole red-green going. He's 12 by 25 because December 25th is Christmas. It's just kind of a cool card, but you are going to be able to still summon on your turn, unlike a kaiju, I think, which means that you could still use like Dark Ruler Hade if you were able to overpower it. We are going to use that which feeds on life, because again, middle of the road. Earl of Demise, decent. Gross Ghost, better defense. The Allure of Darkness is in here only in a double because we don't want to banish too many of our cards. We really do want to fuel that discard pile. Faustian Bargain's pretty cool. Target a special summoning monster on either side of the field, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon a level 4 lower monster from your hand. Again, this is one of our better outs for when we do the Santa Claus play, or if our opponent actually uses fusion summoning. If we're playing up against the restrict deck, we'll be able to go ahead and null out their special summons. I'm running it at 2 because, again, Speed Duel is a smaller deck count, so I feel like the ratio is better. And we're running a ton of normal 4 stars. So we are going to run a single copy of the Metal Reflect Slime. Special summon this in defense mode as an effect monster. It's 10 stars, 0 by 3k. It's still considered a trap. It can't attack. That's fine. It's more or less that one shield trap, just in case we kind of mess up or we end up against the Blue Eyes OTK. It's fine. We got 2 copies of Waking the Dragon. If this set card in its owner's control has left the field because of an opponent's card effect and is either now in the graveyard or banished, special summon either a monster from your deck or your extra deck. That's why we're carrying an extra deck today. So we'll talk about those guys here in 2 seconds. Windstorm of Ataqua, another great defensive trap. Change the battle position of all face-up monsters the opponent controls. Generally, they're all going to be in attack mode, so you'll sit them. And then moving on to the extra deck, we've got the 2 Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons. It's just seriously the strongest attack stat in the game right now. So that's important, I think. Ryosenchi's a great card. And since we're not fusion summoning it, that's fine. When a normal trap is activated as a quick effect, you may pay 1,000 life points to negate the effect. This card must be face up on the field to activate and resolve it. Negate the effect of any spell card that targets this card and destroy it. He really is a great card. He was great back in... I can't remember the name of the set that he was. It was like Legacy of Darkness or something. And he was an amazing card back then. And he's amazing here too. And then Thousand Eyes Restrict, of course. We're going to run that in duplicate as well. I mean, I figure with 2 copies of Waking the Dragon, 2s on the big guys is fine. And the reason that we're using this guy again is, well, we can go ahead and absorb an opponent's monster card. We can choose which one it is. Luckily, we don't have to worry about linking it away or losing it at the end phase, because this isn't an instant fusion summon in this instance. And the fact that it also changes it, like battle freezes the whole field. Other monsters on the field cannot change their battle positions or attack. That's good. It's good that you can gain the power. And if this card would be destroyed by battle, destroy the equipped monster instead. The only real weakness here is if you are going up against the Blue Eyes deck, your real target is only the Lord of D, because you can't target any of the dragon types. So you'd have to suck up the Lord of D, then hopefully run into one of the other dragons so that you could suck up the larger of the dragons. And the issue with this is it's not relinquished. Relinquished would have your opponent take the battle damage at the same time as you do. And Restrict does not abide by that. So it is what it is, guys. It's a fun little deck. I'll probably make another Bakura deck here soon, especially with the Battle City box coming out not too far in the future. I think that's November, if I'm not mistaken. So next month or late this month. So I'm glad I got another speed deck out there for you guys. If you guys know any way to maybe make this better, or maybe I missed a fiend that I should have been playing. I know the one comment I'm going to get is, why isn't there a 3rd Gilgarth? But if you read this, I just need 4 different names, and it's easier to run 2 of him and a bunch of others than to clog the hand with him and not be able to do the Pro Tutor move at the end. So thank you guys for watching. If you've been commenting and entering in for the drawing, thank you for that. It helps me get the cards off my shelf. And I'll see you guys next time, all right? Peace.